What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com down in the SR4U boot room again to answer one of the most commonly asked questions in the recent collection video that went up on my channel last week. If you guys missed it, 700 plus pairs of football boots / soccer cleats. I'll leave a pop-up on screen, gives you the tour. It's a really interesting video if you're into big collections like you see in the background right now. Nonetheless, one of the most commonly asked questions is how much is this gigantic collection actually worth? And quite honestly, I did not know the answer to that question. And even right now, as I'm making this video, I'm still not 100% sure that I know what everything is worth. It would be really difficult to sell all of this off. Nonetheless, I've spent the last 3 or 4 hours going through pair by pair and assessing a value to each individual pair, either just giving it the regular retail value, or some of them, kind of the section I'm in right now, where there's a lot more rare collectible stuff, assigning the current resale values that I could see based on eBay prices that are out there. And we'll talk about that more in just a second. But the total value that I came to, just to answer the question at the start of the video, is $177,610 total. It could be less, it could be more, depending on how you want to value everything, but that is what I came up with as kind of an estimated value for this collection. Under $200,000, but still an obscene amount of money in US dollars for those that are wondering. And again, it's pretty crazy to think that there's that many shoes down here in the SR4U boot room. But with that answer in mind, let me tell you about how I actually came to that number. So I'm standing in the middle of the boot room right now, and keep in mind, I did not include any sneakers in that $177,000 total value. So these two racks right here, as well as this rack, and then all the way back here, this one right here, those are all sneakers. So none of that counts towards the total value. If you included that, we'd probably be right around 200,000, which again, a little bit ridiculous to think about. But this section right here, all of the more current kind of not so valuable stuff, let's just say, that we'll get to in just a second. But this back section here, where I have all of the limited rare stuff that would be fairly expensive to buy resale, this entire section I tallied up to be worth about $75,000, which is a crazy amount of money. And I want to explain a little bit about the soccer resale market while we're on the topic of value in general. So to give you guys some idea of how I came to the values for the limited stuff, I basically just went on eBay and I looked at what the average selling price was for a lot of these limited edition shoes. Are they actually selling at some of the crazy prices you see on eBay? I would argue no. The problem with reselling soccer cleats, football boots, be them regular shoes or limited edition releases, is that the resale market and the collector's market is not nearly as strong as what you'll find with sneakers, as an example. With sneakers, it falls under fashion and it also falls under casual wear, so you can buy your really expensive sneakers and actually wear them out. You can show them off. With a pair of soccer cleats, yeah, you can buy the new Totti Legends, but you can't wear them to the mall, you can't wear them to the movies, you can't wear them on a night out. They're soccer cleats. It's a very purpose-built piece of footwear, so it's something that you pretty much have to buy and put on display, and that's about all you can do. So that alone really hurts the fact that reselling boots is not going to be as strong a market as sneakers. Sneakers, obviously, it's a huge deal. You have stores that are dedicated to just reselling shoes. They never have anything new. They just resell shoes that have already come out that are highly desirable, be it your Yeezys, be it some Jordan models, be it some Nike models, whatever it may be. It's a really interesting, I guess, recent phenomenon, but with soccer cleats, that market is definitely not as strong. So as an example, I have this guy right here, which is the Totti Legend 6. It recently came out. Retail was $235, I believe. And you go on eBay right now and you'll find them reselling, or people trying to resell them, for about 500 bucks or so, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, depending on who has them for sale. Are they actually worth that? Are they worth double the retail price that they just came out for? Again, that's something you kind of have to justify for yourself, but for the sake of assessing some kind of a value, I went with what the current market values are. Then you have other things like this, which is an Adidas Predator Mania, an original one, brand new condition. They didn't make too many different colorways of this shoe, but because it is older and because so many people actually wore them, it's really difficult to find them in good sizes, in new condition, and in some of the more desirable colorways. So something like this, you might see listed on eBay for about $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. It is, again, after all, a free market. So if you have something on eBay, if you have a pair of socks and you want to list them for $100, you can go ahead and do that. There's nothing stopping you. So again, just because you see these crazy prices doesn't necessarily mean that people are buying them for the crazy prices. So I could go ahead and list these on eBay for $1,200, but will I actually have any buyers at $1,200? I don't really know about that. The last example that I have right here is the CR7 Rare Gold Superfly 4. Now this is a shoe that was extremely limited, only 333 pairs, very difficult to get your hands on. And again, you'll go on eBay and you'll see resale prices for about $1,000 US. Are they actually worth that much? It's really, really difficult to say. And this is my advice when it comes to buying limited edition stuff at some kind of crazy resale price. Don't buy this as an investment. If you go on eBay and you buy a pair for $1,000 right now, the likelihood that you'll be able to sell them again for that same $1,000 price, I would think is fairly low odds. So for the most part, if you have to buy these resale prices, buy them because you really want the shoes and you want to keep them forever, and it's not an investment. Don't buy shoes in general as an investment, because I would say, especially when you're talking about soccer cleats / football boots, it just isn't a very good idea. They don't really hold their value. The market does go up and down, and how many people are actually buying these really expensive boots for their collections? I don't think there's actually that many people doing it. Now, in order to assess value to the rest of the collection, which isn't necessarily limited edition stuff, some of it is older and definitely harder to come by, but it's not going to be as valuable as that other section that I just showed you. Nonetheless, there still is a lot here, and I would say 90% of it is high-end boots. So you're ranging in retail values of $200 to $300 for 90% of them, which is a lot, and that's kind of how I just assigned the value to keep things simple. So I like, as an example, I have Phantom 3s right here, the lows $250 a pop, and then the Phantom 3 DF $300. All of these are Superfly 5s that retail for $300 plus, depending on the stud patterns. There is an anti-clog variation, so that would retail for $25 extra, just as an example. All kinds of Obras, Superflies, so lots of different shoes that are valued at $300 minimum, and that's how I just kind of tallied it all up. Whole bunch of Legend 5s, or Legend 6s, sorry, at $210 a pop. I didn't include all of these balls in the middle, which at $160 each, $150 depending on the ball. I don't know what's there, probably $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, which is crazy. Again, I don't want to just spew numbers just for the sake of spewing numbers, but I want to give you guys an idea of how I came to the $177,000 plus total here. Again, Pure Chaos is at the top, all of those $300 each, $200 on X16.1s. Here's some takedown models, so you can say they average out to about $100 each. All kinds of Pure Controls there at the bottom as well. Pure Controls up here, $200 shoes, Adidas Glitches, Copa 17.1s, Pure Agilities, a whole bunch of Under Armour stuff. All of their stuff averages $200 or so, high-end models. Same thing for the Umbro stuff. Bunch of different Puma boots, some Nike stuff as well, some newer, some older, bunch of Mizuno. Mizuno's range from $200 to $300, depending if it's a regular or a made in Japan variation, and then some Asics, some New Balance, and some Pantofolo Doro, as well as some of this older stuff that I have back here. So again, there is lots and lots to consider, and that's kind of how I assess the value to this part of the collection, is I pretty much just use the retail prices. Are all of these shoes worth the full retail price if I tried to resell them? Very, very likely not. But for the sake of this video and to assess some kind of a value, that's how I came to that conclusion. Alright guys, so that is it for me trying to assess some kind of value to this absurd collection, and I wanted to end this video with some advice. If you want to collect shoes yourself, it's something that is definitely a cool goal to have. It's something that's a fun thing to do if you're a boot enthusiast, but I would not recommend collecting shoes thinking that it's a good financial investment, especially if you're buying them in the resale market. If you can get some of these limited edition stuff, limited edition boots when they come out, and you can get them for the retail price, yeah, there is potential to make some kind of money reselling them, but for the most part, you're not going to make a ton of money. Just because you see people listing shoes that retailed for $200, but they're listing them for $800, doesn't mean there's actually any buyers at $800. It just means people on eBay think they're going to get some crazy amount of money for them, and they're happy to leave them there for years at a time, and they'll likely never sell at that obscene price. So keep that in mind. If you really want to buy and sell footwear of any kind, sneakers is definitely where it's at. Wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that with soccer cleats / football boots. So my advice is buy what you can, buy what you can afford, wear what you want to wear. If you want to wear a limited edition shoe, don't feel bad about it, because like I said, there's not very many shoes. Few and far between end up being worth a crazy amount of money. And even if they are extremely valuable, you have to find somebody who's going to be willing to pay $1,000, $2,000 for a single pair of shoes. And there aren't very many of those people out there. So just keep that in mind. I'm really fortunate to have such a collection like this. I walk down here every single day, and I'm still kind of amazed at what has become this gigantic collection. And I only have you guys to thank for it. Obviously, the circumstances of what I've been able to do over the last several years with my life are unusual, but again, thank you for your support. None of this would be possible without you guys. And that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.